William Shakespeare, a renowned English author who lived from 1564 to 1616, is widely recognized and undeniably influential in the fields of theater and poetry. In addition to his acclaimed plays such as Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet, Shakespeare has also gifted us with a collection of invaluable poems where he reflects upon profound subjects like love, destiny, time, beauty, and existence itself. And now you will know the 6 most famous poems by William Shakespeare. Number 1. Sonnet 116.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved.
Sonnet 116 is one of the most well-known poems by the poet. In it, Shakespeare extols love as something that brings security and stability to relationships. The author portrays love as an anchor, a perfect feeling that surpasses time and overcomes all obstacles. This poem, considered an anthem for the lovers, is an example of romantic idealization. Number 2. Sonnet 88.
When thou shalt be disposed to set me light, and place my merit in the eye of scorn, upon thy side, against myself I'll fight, and prove thee virtuous, though thou art forsworn. With mine own weakness being best acquainted, upon thy part I can set down a story of faults concealed, wherein I am attainted, that thou in losing me shalt win much glory, and I by this will be a gainer too, for bending all my loving thoughts on thee, the injuries that to myself I do, doing thee vantage, double vantage me. Such is my love, to thee I so belong, that for thy right, myself will bear all wrong.
In Sonnet 88, we encounter a passionate individual entirely devoted to their beloved. It is evident that the relationship starts off uneven. While they give themselves wholeheartedly, their beloved treats them with disdain and contempt. Even in the face of these insults, they manage to overcome all offenses and continue loving unconditionally. Despite the clear imbalance between them, the subject persists in praising their beloved and offering all the love they possess. When they receive even a fraction of that love in return, their happiness multiplies. Number 3. Sonnet 18.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
Sonnet 18, equally beloved, approaches love in a unique way by employing metaphors from nature to express this sentiment. The enamored individual compares the beauty of their beloved to a summer's day, and through a series of analogies with natural elements, extols their physical appearance. Furthermore, Shakespeare also explores the power of poetry in this poem, as through the verses, the beloved is immortalized, remaining alive eternally. Number 4. Sonnet 23.
As an unperfect actor on the stage, who with his fear is put beside his part, or some fierce thing replete with too much rage, whose strength's abundance weakens his own heart, so I, for fear of trust, forget to say the perfect ceremony of love's rite, and in mine own love's strength seem to decay, o'ercharged with burthen of mine own love's might. Oh, let my books be then the eloquence, and dumb presagers of my speaking breast, who plead for love, and look for recompense, more than that tongue that more hath more expressed. Oh, learn to read what silent love hath writ, to hear with eyes belongs to love's fine wit.
In Sonnet 23, we encounter a shy individual who loves in silence, engrossed in their own inner world. The mention of an actor in the first line, someone who displays bravery, contrasts with this reserved man who prefers to express their eloquence through books. Unlike many other poems by Shakespeare, where love is exalted with grandeur and pomp, here we witness the beauty of a love cultivated in secrecy, in a quiet and serene manner. Number 5, Sonnet 35.
No more be grieved at that which thou hast done. Roses have thorns, and silver fountains mud. Clouds and eclipses stain both moon and sun, and loathsome canker lives in sweetest bud. All men make faults, and even I in this, authorizing thy trespass with compare, myself corrupting, salving thy amiss, excusing thy sins more than thy sins are. For to thy sensual fault I bring in sense, thy adverse party is thy advocate, and gainst myself a lawful plea commence. Such civil war is in my love and hate, that I an accessory needs must be, to that sweet thief which sourly robs from me.
Sonnet 35 presents a reflection on life from a generous perspective, where there is room to acknowledge both one's own and others' mistakes. The poet lists a series of negative aspects present even in initially positive situations. Even in the fountain, there is mud, and in roses, thorns can be found. Instead of concealing the difficulties, the subject identifies them and reflects on how to deal with these challenges. The poem precisely addresses this recognition, but also touches on the future, the need to no longer lament regret. Number 6, Sonnet 19.
Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her blood. Make glad and sorry seasons as thou fleet'st, and do whate'er thou wilt, swift-footed time, to the wide world and all her fading sweets. But I forbid thee one most heinous crime. Oh, carve not with thy hours my love's fair brow, nor draw no lines there with thine antique pen. Him in thy course untainted do allow for beauty's pattern to succeeding men. Yet do thy worst old time. Despite thy wrong, my love shall in my verse ever live young.
The beautiful Sonnet 19 compares time to a furious lion that devours everything in its path. The poem, deeply visual, speaks in an extremely poetic way about our inability to control time. The subject of the poem, despite being aware of the cruelty of time, negotiates with it and pleads for it not to harm their beloved.